We're doing war videos again. We're going to try to get through this this past season that just ended. This is War 7, so this was a couple weeks ago at this point. I honestly remember nothing about these mid-season wars. But, alright, looks like I'm going to be on Path 9. Those are both pretty straightforward CGR fights. We'll switch up the strat for the Global Defender, Mysterio. Pretty sure I'm taking that Doom. Definitely took that Skrull, and then definitely taking that America Chavez with Apocalypse. So, we're up against JA. I didn't honestly pay too much attention to the end of the season standings, but I think that they finished in the top 3. I think they finished second. I could be totally off on that. I know GT40 defended their reign yet again, and I think that Hellfire Club Magneto finished in the top 3. Anyway, all right. So you guys know the drill here. The drill here with CGR is don't worry about Fate Seal. Don't worry about a quote-unquote normal rotation with him. Use a Power Start 1 boost, parry, medium, or just do a parry, light ending combo to get your power gain, parry again, throw your SP2. That's literally all you need to do. You don't even need to heavy charge or anything like that for the aptitude. Like, you're going to take about 80% of his health. And then, you know, with power back boost, using cosmic boost, you're going to get yourself back up to an SP2 at the very minimum, but most likely just push yourself to an SP3, and then you can just throw that. So the fight time on this, I think, ends up being about 20 seconds because of his SP3 animation. But the fight is won essentially in about 8 to 10 seconds. So a very safe fight if you just follow this pretty strict fight strategy here with Cosmic Ghost Rider. Essentially nothing can go wrong unless you just miss an input and miss a parry or something like that. So, alright, so Power Start 1, parry. We're doing a light ender, get the power gain, one more parry, boom, throw the SP2. It's all that matters. Now, I do usually run half suicides for this fight, with the bleed only, obviously, but yeah, I've seen people with a rank 3 Cosmic Ghost Rider do the exact same strategy with no suicides, and it's the same. It's gonna be the same result. You're always gonna be able to get back up to your SP2. The only thing that could prevent that is if you accidentally dex before you throw your SP2. You don't get that long precision buff, so your SP2 doesn't have that precision boost. That would be really the only thing that I could see going wrong with that strategy. All right, so this fight's a little bit different. It is a global defender, so I have to be mindful of my buffs triggering miss-tic defense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to parry heavy, but then instead of parry light ender, I'm going to do a parry medium ender. I'm going to gain that vigilance buff before my aptitude buff ends, so by the time the miss-tic global comes into play, I'll have vigilance and I won't be able to miss. And then I'm just going to land another parry, then I'll do my light ender, and then I can throw my SP2. Now, when you're fighting global defenders, this will apply to everybody, you know, in high tiers next season with this global. If you're using CGR, you don't want to use a Power Start 1 boost here using this strategy because you can very easily overshoot your SP2 and just go to your SP3. You know, you can throw your SP3 and just restart your judgments and get yourself back up to an SP2, but it's much quicker and easier if you just if you don't use a Power Start 1 boost doing that rotation. And frankly, for any kind of normal rotation fight, when you're doing 3 judgments before your special 2, you don't really want to use a Power Start 1 boost. That's pretty much exclusively for fights like the Void fight that your only goal is to get that fight over with as quickly as possible, and you don't need to Fate Seal them for any reason. So, alright. Here we have a rank 4 Dr. Doom on node 26. Pretty common placement. It's really good placement. And I think that I'm just a huge fan of Apocalypse in this fight. A lot of people have covered this. DLL, it's one of my favorite channels, and he has a rank 4 Apocalypse as well. His last war video that I just watched earlier today, he kind of talked about just how expensive it is to run Apocalypse. And, you know, I do generally run half suicides with Apocalypse, especially if I'm taking a dangerous fight where bleed could get involved, but also mostly because I almost always run CGR as well, and I just like to have that extra damage for him. Not that he needs the extra damage, but that's certainly not helping anything. But even if you're not running suicides, just taking block damage and stuff, when you're taking tough fights like Dr. Doom with the extra fury and his black penetration and all that stuff, it's just very expensive to run Apocalypse. But yeah, there's almost no way to get out of that fight with more than 80% health unless you are just playing like a complete maniac and going for intercepts only. And frankly, that would never be advisable in Alliance War anyway, especially in that fight, because you could just easily mess up, and Dr. Doom can be pretty unforgiving. So, all right, so somebody knocked out node 35 there, and I'll be taking this Bishop. Now this is Hazard Shift, Shock, and Bleed. I'm obviously Bleed immune, I'm not Shock immune, and it does start on the Shock phase. You can use the one of the Odin buffs to give you the shock resistance. And basically my strategy going into this fight was, I'm just going to completely ignore the node. I'll kill him fast enough that it won't matter that much. But I didn't kill him fast enough that it didn't matter that much. I ended up losing, as you guys can see, quite a bit of my health. And it was just, I just miscalculated. It was just a bad strategy. I've taken this fight, this exact matchup before, and it is very easy to just be patient and wait out that shock phase just by parrying him and backing off. That's what I should have done. I didn't do that. You guys can see how low on items I am. And, I had to heal up Apocalypse for the America Chavez fight. It was just a bad tactical decision that I made to do that. I should have just been more patient. But anyway, okay, so Super Skrull. So we have two things going on here. Number one, like the Mysterio fight, he has the global. And like the Mysterio fight, I have to Fate Seal him to nullify the indestructible boost or buff that he'll get. Otherwise, I'm not going to be doing any damage. So, need to have an Awakened CGR to do the Fate Seal and nullify all their buffs. But in this fight, I am just going to do exactly the same strategy. We're parry heavy, okay, and then we are parry medium ender for the vigilance. And then we are parry light ender for the power gain. And unfortunately, as you guys have gathered, or probably gathered from the Mysterio fight, you can't chain the SP2 to your medium, to your light ender, because you're not going to get that power gain surge over 2 bars by the time that you end your combo. It'll happen after that. So you just have to throw in an extra parry. Try to resist the urge to dex him if he throws a special, and just be patient, and then you'll get yourself up to 2 bars of power. Throw the SP2, and like usual, if you are able to get to an SP2 with CGR, the fight is almost always going to be over. So yeah, he's just really, really, really strong for this global against champs that aren't armor break immune and aren't going to just nullify him or something like that. So, or stagger him or something. All right. So we have this Strife. Damn, I didn't even realize I also had this Strife. So it's going to be exactly the same strategy as the Scroll and Mysterio fights. But again, yeah, that was just such a dumb decision against that Bishop to essentially willingly give up 45% of my health when I had 2 more CGR fights and another Apocalypse fight. Pretty stupid, but anyway, alright. You know the drill. Boom. SP2. This guy has a ton more health because he's on Mini Boss Island, so we're not going to shoot ourselves up to an SP3. That's okay. There we go, SP2, you're dead. Alright, and then the last fight of the war is America Chavez on Conflictor. The way that I kind of look at Conflictor is, unless it's a hard counter to Apocalypse, or if Apocalypse is banned, obviously, I think it's totally fair to just default to Apocalypse. Because he's so strong, especially, he's almost always going to have full 4 genetic code by the time that he gets up to this node. It's just so easy with him. So, anyway. Alright, we are obviously going to throw on our mutant boosts here. And, the only real danger in this fight is you do want to do, you don't want to throw the same basic attack in a row, because that will give them a pretty big fury, or I'm sorry, prowess, and you know, when she's throwing her specials into the block, and if it hits you, the furies are pretty, god damn it, the prowess are pretty hefty on this node. So we are also going to try to resist the urge, as I mentioned in an earlier fight, to dex her specials because she does benefit from the global. So as long as we can back off, land a parry, do a medium light, back off, land a parry, and block her specials, she should never throw a heavy, she'll never activate her dimensions, I'll never trigger the global, and I can just throw my SP2, and with the power back boost, I'm going to be able to get my... Why didn't I get any power back? Did I not throw a power back boost? Oh, I think I didn't. Anyway, yeah, it's just a really safe and easy fight. I mean, you guys see how safe and easy that is. And that is it. So that's it for my war here. Again, this is War 7, so this is a long time ago at this point. We ended up losing this war, but I think I'm going to have a little screenshot of how we were doing at the point that I was done with my fights. We were doing really well, and then towards the end, with, you know, once we started to get to the harder fights on the map, like Mini Island as an alliance, we dropped a few, and we ended up losing the war. But this was where we were at by the time that I was done. So anyway, valiant effort on our part. Again, JA finished, I believe, second overall, so they're a really strong alliance. That's it, guys. Leave a like and a comment if you want. Subscribe if you want. I will be catching up on war videos over the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And that is it. I'll see you in the next video.